What is up, RC enthusiasts? I'm back here again today with an update. Over here with the ZP1001 right here. And I just want to do an update like I always do, you know, after I do some runs and stuff, and I want to let you guys know how it's worked out for me. So still on the stock electronics, still working fine. Now I got a couple mods on this thing if you guys have been watching my videos. On my last running video I did post the mods I put on this on the description. But I'm going to go ahead and show it to you today, just so you guys can take a look at what I've done and how I got this to drive the way it does in that video. You know, it's not too bad. It could do better. Oil shocks could definitely work on here. And what I just found out by looking at the shocks on here, the actual shocks that are on this thing are the same shocks that are in the 12428 trucks. It's going to be the front cantilever style shocks in the front, the shocks they actually use in the front of those. Those are the exact same shocks that are in here. So if you find oil-filled shocks to fit that, those are the same oil-filled shocks you could use to modify this one. Now you can modify these shocks in here that they have, just like the 12428s, to hold oil. But the only problem with that is, you know, you can get them to hold oil, but there's no piston in there. So you really can't control the compression and rebound dampening on it because there's no piston inside the shock. So just go ahead and purchase yourself some aftermarket shocks and be done with that. Let's go ahead and get into this. Yeah, it is on right now because I did want to show you guys that, you know, it is running. No issues. There you go. Now I'm going to take this off. Pull the lights off. Just going to have two wires. They just have a disconnect to them. That's what they look like right here. Hey, there's the bottom of that body. It's pretty cool looking, you know. It's built well. They do charge a lot for this body if you want to buy the other one. If you do like the other color, I do like the silver one. This is pretty good too. You could wrap it or paint it or just get a different body on this truck completely if you wanted to. It could work. You just have to find this same scale. It's not 1/10, so don't try to go buy a 1/10 scale body out there and put it on this thing. It probably won't work unless you can figure out a way to extend the wheelbase and make it wider. But other than that, I'd say this is more a 12 scale rig. So 12 scale bodies, maybe look into those. Don't take my word for it. So if you look here, you're going to see that the weights on the back, I've actually covered it with tape because they were rattling around. It didn't seem like they glued it properly or they screwed it in all the way, but the screws seem to have glue on them or something because I can't back them out or anything to change that, so I just taped it. And if you look, you can see the motor now. It's a weird sized motor, that's for sure. I don't know what size that is exactly, but it's definitely a stubby motor. It's big though, and it's stubby. You guys insert your own jokes there. As you can tell, I removed the ESC cover that covers the ESC, but if you check there, you can see the ESC is not covered in that box anymore. It's just exposed, and it's black now. The reason it's black is because I plasticked it and made it waterproof. So this truck is not splash proof anymore. It should be waterproof at this point. Now the ESC used to be held in this thing. You know, it was cool if the top was sealed, but it's not sealed, so it's not a waterproof box. They call it splash proof, but if any water makes it in here and sits in here long enough, it'll damage that ESC receiver and ESC combo, sorry. But now I plasticked it, mine, and it's opened. It's open air now, so cooling is better. It should perform a lot better now that it's out there. And same with the motor. They put this little cover there, and I understand why it's there. You know, this is to protect children from touching it and burning their fingers and stuff. But if you're not a child and you're playing with this and you're my age, take that off because it'll make your motor run a lot cooler. So you can see there now it's just exposed. Now the battery bay is still stock. I didn't take that off or anything. I'm still running those batteries. They're pretty decent runtime. I have my, well, this is a 3-cell, but I have a 2-cell that's 22 mAh this size that I do sit right over here to run it once in a while. Now I haven't run this 3S. I don't know if that ESC will handle it, but yeah, just my 2S is the same size, just thinner. So it just sits right here usually, or sometimes I put it over here with some zip ties like this. Just maybe that might even out the weight a little bit more, but I think over here is pretty good. These batteries are not that heavy, especially if you're only using a 2200 or a 3000. You can probably mount it right here. And my shocks, I know I'm pretty far from you guys there, but if you look at my shocks right there, you're gonna see I have some preload put into it. That's because I cut my shocks. I counted 3 coils down from the very top. So at the very top, I went 1, 2, 3, and on that 3rd coil, I cut right there. I did that to all 4, and the back, I shouldn't have done it that much on the back because there's a lot more weight in the back of this rig because of that spare tire and stuff like that and the cage on the body. So it did sag a lot in the back. But thank goodness these shocks are threaded bodies and they do have a collar to adjust the preload. So just go ahead and tighten that down a little bit to where you like it, and now you're back to normal ride height again, and you've got really, really plush suspension. I mean, this thing can flex now. It's not like how it used to be stock. It's pretty fun, guys. If you guys watch my running video, I ran this maybe 3 batteries that day and handed it to some friends that are not that nice to their crawlers, and they weren't able to break it, so it's pretty amazing. You know, you can buy parts for this. I saw some parts on Banggood. I saw the tires for sale. I saw the gearbox motor assembly for sale and the axles. And that's pretty much it with this rig. That's the only things I really can see you breaking, unless you drop this off of a 10-foot building or something and break the chassis. But this thing is so flexible. I don't think it can break, guys. If you guys haven't seen this truck yet, it's the first time seeing it, check out my other 2 videos. I got a review and a running video on this. Hopefully that will get you interested in this, especially if you're new to crawling and stuff. This is the most budget way you can get into it right here. And I haven't tested any of the other rigs. I know there's some other companies that have similar price rigs that are probably just as good or might even be better quality than this, but from my testing, and since I do have this rig in my hands, I can confidently say that this rig is definitely a buy, especially if you're trying to get into crawling and you're not sure you really want to spend that kind of money on it, you just want to try it. This will give you a pretty good idea of what crawling is all about. This is a pretty capable rig for its price and for being a toy. I'm amazed by it. You know, little things you gotta change, you know, like I did right here, just to make it more waterproof and cool it down a little better. You know, shocks, you gotta do that. Put some vents, like Tom Lee's RC Garage did on his tires. Now I went ahead and did what Tom Lee did, and I think it's better. It's way better than, you know, just doing what I did. So, do that, and that's all I pretty much did to this rig. And I moved this front bumper, I moved it out 1 hole, because you could adjust the bumper. I moved it out 1 hole out. The body mounts, I moved them 1 hole up, and by doing that, the body doesn't sit on these rails nicely anymore. So as you can tell on here, I've got spacers. I'm not sure if you can tell. Let me see if I can get an angle so you can see it. There you go. You see that right there? That white thing right there that my finger's really close to. Yeah, see, that's like a foam block that I just put spacers on this side thing to lift it up more. So that way it still grabs the body on the sides, because the body sits in these rails and there's a little slot right here that the body goes into, so it sits all nice in there and doesn't flop around again. And now it still sits good. Very minimal gap between the body and this for the mud guards and everything. It's great. Now I don't have my front tires rubbing on the bumper. I've got a lot more clearance since I lifted the body. Now my wheels don't rub on the body or the fenders as much, and it's pretty good. You know, I actually enjoy this rig, and if I was to upgrade this and keep it and just say, hey, I want to use this as a 12 scale rig that I'm going to test for a long run, I think the only things I would upgrade on this is I'd probably go oil-filled shocks, you know, in the future. Not necessary, especially if you're just crawling around. It really isn't that necessary, but if you really want your rig to look smoother and perform a little better, the oil-filled shocks will upgrade its performance. And I would replace this servo. Now, the only problem with replacing this servo is a 5-wire servo, so it's not a 3-wire traditional servo that we're used to seeing in the hobby. This is more of the toy grade servos that go with your all-in-ones usually. So if you replace that servo, then you're going to go ahead and have to replace this ESC receiver combo with your own electronics. That right there, I think, will up the game on this truck. But for me, I'm going to try to keep it like this as much as I can. I might go oil-filled shocks, I might not. I just want to see how long this rig can keep on going the way it is. How long that servo will last, how long this 2-in-1 will last. You know, because I do plan to crawl this as hard as I crawl this guy back here. This truck right here, I have tons of videos out on, and that's my custom twin hammers built into a independent front suspension crawler rig. So if you guys are interested in this little HB Toys ZP1001, it's definitely nice. Here you guys go. Nice rig, you know. And of course these are for the newbies too, for the beginners and stuff, but these are super modifiable, they're super affordable. You know, you buy one of these and you figure out you're not into crawling, you're not out that much money. And you could probably sell this and recoup most of your money because somebody will buy this from you. There are people out there that love to modify these little things. And I'm one of them. So that's going to be it for me today for this one. I'm going to go do more updates on my other rigs that I've been running, you know, because I do have a lot more updates to put out just to show people how reliable these things are. I do like to put out updates just to give you guys my overview after running them for a while, just to let you know what I think of them after that. I haven't damaged any part on this vehicle yet, and it performs pretty amazingly for a toy. I'm surprised. So thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys like this. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe below if you want to see more of these videos. And always, go out there, have fun, and run that RC.